What's going on, guys? Grandpa Billybass coming at you live and direct. Just wanted to take you guys on a little journey here. So, let's go on a journey, guys. What do you think? I got my little binoculars. Feeling so outdoorsy right now. So, today, we're at a very special place. The last time I was out here, I got shot at. And then I came back later that same day, and I got shot at again. So we're out here for the third time, and we're hopefully not going to get shot at this time. But this is part of the New Hampshire Rail Trail system, and it runs from near the border of Vermont all the way up through New Hampshire to Maine. So I've spent a lot of time out here recently, just kind of exploring, walking around. So last time I was here, there's another gate down that way on the other side of where I parked. And as you guys can see, there's a gate right there. So we're going to take this side this time. And you can see the beautiful cliffs. These huge, huge cliffs that probably aren't smart to walk underneath. Probably isn't very smart to do that, but you only live once, right? I feel like that's even more reason not to do stupid things. Have you guys ever thought about that? Leave it in the comments what you think. They say you only live once, and they always use that as an excuse for doing stupid things. But if you really only live once, you'd probably not want to do stupid things and live as long as you can. Probably want to maximize that lifespan, but who am I to judge? Anyways, we've made it past the first gate. It's actually pretty chilly out here. Grandpa Billybass is a wee bit nipply. He's feeling the chills. Put his glasses back on there. Put that hood back up. So, I don't know if you guys can see it, but down there, there's a lot of water. It's a nice big stream. And it actually flows through a tunnel. Maybe I'll walk back here and I'll show you guys the tunnel if I can. If you guys can see it. Big tunnel. Down there. Well, it's actually over there. You can't see it. But that's okay. No big deal. We are out here exploring. Whew. This trail is maintained by the state of New Hampshire. Last time I came out here, like I was saying before, there was people out in the woods shooting their guns, and pretty sure they got mad at me, thinking that I called the police on them or something, because I came back later the same day, and they started shooting again, but with higher caliber guns. So I basically, I'll tell you guys the story. So last time I was here, I went out for a walk down the other trail, and I got about 300 yards out, and I was down in the creek taking pictures, trying to get my camera as close to the water as I possibly could. I like flipped my phone upside down and did a bunch of cool stuff to get some cool effects. And so I was down there for, maybe 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes. And while I'm down in the creek, these guys started shooting really close to me. And I could tell that they were really close to me just because of, they were gunshots. So, I could tell that they were really close. And they weren't high caliber gunshots. They were 22s, some small caliber gun. But I ended up believing, I announced myself. This is a public trail maintained by the state of New Hampshire, so you're not supposed to shoot guns on this. It's a walking trail. I can show you guys the sign on my way out, but yeah, no hunting, no shooting permitted here. So basically, go out to the woods, about 300 yards down the trail, down in the creek. Gunshots start going off next to me on the other side of the creek. So the same way this creek runs on this side of the trail, the gunshots were coming from across the creek farther, so on the other side of the creek. even though the creek I'm talking about is down the other trail and on the other side. But they're on the other side of the creek from the trail. So I announced myself while I'm in the creek, and nobody responded, even though I could tell they were like right next to me. And so I was like, all right, well, that's concerning. You know, it's only 22. It's not that loud. They can definitely hear me. I thought I could see them from the creek. So I climbed up the creek bank and got back up on the trail really stealthily and like kind of trying to stay behind trees so that nothing hit me. And I picked up my binoculars, which I had with me then too. And I could see these guys literally right across the creek. And it looked like, well, I was looking at them, they were wondering, you know, where the fuck did this dude go? So I don't know if they were actually shooting at me or what the case was, but they absolutely were, were shooting parallel to the creek, which I was in. So really dangerous place to be shooting, and you know, dangerous for me to be downrange of where they're shooting and kind of parallel to their targets. They're shooting 22, so you know, those ricochet pretty easily. So anyways, that happens, and I'm leaving, and there's this guy pulling in a Jeep who, his name was Bob, and apparently he's from Cheshire County Trail Watch, which is a volunteer trail watch service, like volunteer agency that works with like New Hampshire Fish and Game to kind of maintain things, because the wardens and the game guys, the game officers, are spread so thin that they have so much trail to patrol. You know, like I said, this runs from pretty much Vermont to Maine, all the way through New Hampshire. So there's a lot of trail, and there's not a whole lot of people to patrol it. So basically, this guy comes in from Trail Watch, rolls down his window, and he looks at me as I'm leaving in my car, and he asked me, you know, is there someone with weapons out here? And I said, yeah, well, yeah, you know, about 300, or I think I told him like 100 yards, but that's way off. It was like 300 yards. Down the trail and across the creek, there's some guys. I tried to announce myself, and they just kept shooting, so, you know, whatever. So basically, Trail Watch showed up on their own. They had heard the shots going off, and came to check it out, apparently. And so this guy Bob, Trail Watch Bob, goes down the trail, and he's apparently looking for these guys. I leave. I end up having to come back because I forgot something. I dropped something on the ground, and had to come back to retrieve it. And when I came back, Bob was still there. So, you know, this dude's probably 60 years old. And so I walked down the trail to find him, make sure he's okay, because he was going to try and check out what was going on with a couple guys shooting guns in the woods, and not so and kind of reluctant to acknowledge that I was there and downrange of where they're shooting. So basically, I walked down the trail. Bob's all right. Me and Bob are kind of shooting the shit. Excuse my language. We're talking, chit-chatting a bit, and he told me that while I was gone, that Officer Hannett, who actually was on a, you can actually look him up, Officer Hannett, New Hampshire, State of New Hampshire Fish and Game, or I think District 4 is where this is. I don't know, maybe that's wrong. I don't know what district. But if you look up Officer Hannett, he actually did a pretty cool appearance on a podcast that I watched. And so, because I was just looking into it. So basically, Bob from Trail Watch told me that Officer Hannett had just rolled through from Fish and Game, who actually does have the authority to, you know, do something about these guys out here shooting guns. And so he had apparently rolled through on his dirt bike to try and go find those guys. And and confront them about what they were doing. But I tell you all this because I ended up coming back later that same day to finish taking pictures and doing, you know, all the photography art stuff that I wanted to do, photography stuff. And I get back out to the same spot parallel to where those guys were shooting before, and I figured because it was like 7 o'clock that they would, if they were out there on, you know, had just walked off maybe somebody's property that they knew out there and had kind of wandered into a public area not knowing it, because it's pretty wild out here. I mean, you know, there is a highway right there, but everything else is just woods, and yeah, so we're really out here. So you could stumble onto a public property and not realize that you've done it. But yeah, so I end up coming back, I get out to where they were at, and they start shooting again, and this time with like much higher caliber guns. You know, it was much bigger booms. So they were definitely shooting something bigger, maybe shotguns or, you know, 30-06, I don't know. Whatever it was much louder, bigger caliber. So higher caliber. But so yeah, that's why I ended up coming back here today to film this video. Because I just wanted to I wanted to see what would happen. We went down the other trail today, but the one that this all occurred on is down the way that I'm heading right now. And it's about 8 o'clock, so it's getting dark. It's definitely dusk. Can't see as well as I could when I first got here. And I got here about a half an hour ago-ish. So, yeah. Nothing happened today. Even though I didn't go down the same trail. Next time I come out here, I'm going to go down the same trail. I'm very curious. I ended up actually calling the next day or later that night into the actual, I forget what it's like, Operation Game Thief or something. And it wasn't to report those guys because, you know, if they were where they're supposed to be, and maybe, you know, who knows? They definitely weren't. But, you know, I wasn't out trying to get them in trouble. I just wanted to, because they shot at me twice. You know, I left and came back, and they started shooting as soon as I got to where I was at before. So they're definitely shooting because I was out there. But I called Operation Game Thief just to ask, were they okay? Because I knew that Officer Hannett was going to confront them. And I wanted to know if he had, and if the whole issue was resolved and they were being safe with their shooting, which I'm sure that they weren't, but, you know, I just called to see what was going on. And so I gave my experience. I told the operator, you know, everything that had happened. And she said that Officer Hannett would call me. But Officer Hannett never called me. So, you know, I find that a little weird, but that's fine, whatever. Officer Hannett didn't call. So I really don't know what the resolve was on that. If those guys were just fine and it was no big deal, then that's fine. I'm not too worried about it. But they definitely, my impression is that they thought for sure that I had called in on them. And if maybe they did see me. Like I said, I think they were shooting because I was out there. But I think that they thought that I had, you know, maybe called in on them or something. I don't know. I really don't know what they think. But, you know, I didn't do that. It was definitely, definitely not me. Trail Watch came all on their own. A volunteer agency that apparently Bob either lives nearby maybe, or I don't know. I don't know why Bob was in this area. It's kind of a desolate place. But Bob came. And it wasn't because I had called Bob. And apparently Bob had called Officer Hannett because Officer Hannett was on his way and had showed up. So it's just, you know, just makes you wonder what the heck is going on. So that's why we came out here today. I wanted to to see if anything crazy would happen, or if maybe we'd run into Officer Hannett or Bob from Trail Watch. That's kind of what I was hoping for. But instead, we did not run into any of them, and I didn't actually go for a very far hike. We went for probably a little 5-minute hike both ways. But it's getting dark, so maybe I'll come back tomorrow and we can pick up then, and I'll take you guys out down the trail. And I'm very curious to know, like, you know, maybe someone starts shooting at us. I have videos. I recorded videos while I was out there, so I'll probably put those in tomorrow's video or edit them into this video maybe. Probably not that. They'll probably be in the video tomorrow, edited in somewhere, just as like a recap to show you like that really happened. I have videos of both instances. So weird. You know, I started recording after the fact as I'm walking away while they're still shooting at me, or shooting in my direction, shooting unsafely while I'm down a range of their bullets. And so yeah, I end up let me turn my car on so I can turn these lights on and you can see me way better. Oh man, that's crazy. Look at that. It's like daytime in here now. Look at the sun. Moth. But anyways, got shot at. A bunch of crazy stuff has happened out here, so wanted to take you guys on that little adventure. Tomorrow, I will upload another video, and it will probably contain some footage from the videos that I took while they were shooting at me. So I pulled my phone out and just started recording video while they're actually shooting at me as I'm walking out of there. And, you know, I'm saying, like, you know, you can hear me call out in the videos, like, hey, I'm out here. Don't shoot. And they just keep shooting anyway. So that was a really weird experience. So I'm going to try to come back out again. Fuck, I'm not trying to, you know, provoke anybody, but, you know, this is a public trail, and I'm not putting up with that shit. You shoot me, you can shoot me on camera. I got descriptions on both you fat fucks. Excuse my language. Oh, that's got to get edited. God damn it. So, yeah, just as a little wrap-it-up statement here, I don't think it's a good idea if you are someplace where people are shooting guns unsafely that you should ever go back to record it or, you know, anything like. Don't put yourself in harm's way to record it. But this is someplace I come regularly, so I'm not just trying to record it for clout or to like entertain you guys. I'm recording it because, you know, you're not supposed to shoot guns out here. So if there's some issue regarding it, I mean, it's all documented. I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble either. That's, you know, just putting that out there. I'm not that kind of person. I'm not, you know, I'm all for guns, but that's super unsafe and that's not the way to do it. And you're going to end up hurting somebody if you be out here shooting like that. So don't do that. And don't go out trying to record dangerous stuff for views, because that is a good way to get yourself hurt. So just throwing that out there too. Grandpa Billybass coming at you. Woo! Adios, guys. Peace.